Let's talk about early stage valuations a little bit in the lens of Hopin. This was the kind of the round of the week, I feel. And when we're talking about risk, to me, this is pretty risk on. And, Natasha, you were talking a lot about how the world might go back to being the way it was sooner than some people thought. But here is people putting money into Hopin, a virtual events platform, at a staggering valuation. So the round was 125 million at a 2.125 billion dollar valuation. So we can all see it was a $2 billion pre and slightly more than that post. And I did a little digging before the show. According to PitchBook data, its Series A, which was $40 million earlier this year, and I think it was in June, valued the company at about $285 million. So like, what is that, Danny? Like 7x, somewhere in there? Just a staggering amount of money. So I want to get Natasha first impressions on, do you think this is a sound investment, given kind of what you've now heard about where the world may be going next year?
I think whether or not attendees prefer it, virtual events will continue to happen because they save companies so much money. Now that companies know they can save so much money, they will do that. And I think that it's not, rocket science to believe that there will be a huge winner in the space and that Zoom hasn't filled all the needs for it. So it makes a lot of sense. It seems like everyone's going toward Hopin, but I mean, who knows? I feel like there's always a quieter competitor, and I'm much more excited about that one because my experience with Hopin wasn't anything that I was like, this is the future. I was just like, okay, you were first and smart, and someone can probably do that too.
I think it's a great venture bet. This is what venture looks like. Is the future massive virtual events with millions of people, and Hopin's going to be the next Shopify with billions in revenue across thousands and thousands of events, or not? And that's the beauty of it. Like, I think, I don't know if I would agree with the price. I think the price was market determined. I think a lot of people want to be in this company. It's, I think, emerged as like the Zoom of virtual events, in a way that Zoom didn't turn out to be the Zoom of virtual events. And so, it manages a lot. And there's a ton of bolt-on acquisitions you can imagine going on with Hopin, right? Today, it's just kind of managing the actual expo experience, if you will. It handles membership logins. You can join groups. You can like connect through to your videos. But like, it could do ticketing. It can do registration. It can do networking and matching. Like, there's a ton of more things that it can potentially add that will add revenues and juice the numbers. But like, fundamentally, it's a macro bet. Like, will events in the future be virtual?
So not virtual though. The whole bet is hybrid. So that's one mistake that I made. I was talking to the CEO, I think it was Monday this week before the round kind of was announced. And I was asking this question, I'm like, look, the vaccine stuff came out today. Everyone's kind of talking about going back to normal. Is that a problem for Hopin? And he was like, no, because we were originally a hybrid platform. That was our first bet. We were going to be hybrid. And so he was like, if the world goes that direction, we think that's fine. And I was like, okay, well, valid. Danny, you and I have been at TC together for like a combined long number of years, right? We've done a lot of Disrupts, which is our big conference. We've done them on different continents. Do you think that we're going to do those hybrid down the road?
I don't know what hybrid means.
Hybrid means there's an IRL component and a virtual component.
But if I can do it IRL, why would I do it virtually as well?
Well, presumably you'd have some subset of the content available virtually for a lower price point. I'm just curious if we think that we're going to do this because we're a relatively good test case for the proposition.
I think one of the things that we don't estimate enough is like who the actual producers of these shows, like what is enjoyable for them, right? We're obviously very customer centric. We really focus on people, but like half the fun of building an event is actually like meeting people live. Like, we enjoy doing the in-person experience. The virtual experience is just a piss poor comparison. So I don't know if I don't know what hybrid means. I think it's great that they think that they started that way. I think it's similar to how remote work goes. It's like, well, we're hybrid. Some people are in the office, some people are not. And it's like, well, people in the office have like 100 times more power than the people not in the office, right? You either have to go all in or all out. It's very hard to be in the middle. And I think we're going to see the exact same thing in events.
The difference, though, is you can charge different amounts of money for this. So I agree. Like, would I rather go to Disrupt in person? Hell yes. I've been to a bajillion of them. But if you were like, for 1/50th the price, you person in country far away from where the event is, do you want to watch the main stage for $50? I think the answer is going to be hell yes. And then I think that expands your audience, your reach. And, we won't solve this today, but just for some context for everyone out there, Hopin has grown from 0 ARR to 20 million ARR in about 9 months. So at least the current market works for them. We'll see how the growth pans out when Danny can get back to his Midtown office and really spread his joy and love around the Verizon Media Group headquarters.
I was just going to add that I was speaking to the founder of a virtual HQ, which we can talk about next week, because I think that's when the story will be live. But just as a teaser, and I'm so excited to hear Danny and Alex's perspective on it. But the Dayton Mills was basically saying, like, we can't recreate spontaneity as a virtual anything. We can just create an environment that allows and, like, you know, promotes spontaneity. And I think that will be the deciding factor of a lot of these, like, virtual event platforms. Hopin, for example, had this, like, matching tool that would, like, put you on video. I loved that. And I think that, like, those little hacks and maybe, like, slight product tweaks will actually go a really long way with virtual anything platforms.
Yeah, and they're hiring a lot of engineers. They have a lot of aspirations on the product side. So, like, what we're seeing now, to me, is kind of like the table stakes version of it. It's cool, as you said, Natasha, but it's not like, holy shit. So I'm curious what the
I think I would double down
like
on this. It's all about product development. You have to believe in a vision in which this is 10 times better in the next 5 to 8 years. You know, if more people have augmented reality headsets, they have their Oculuses, and assuming Facebook doesn't lock you out after, you know, inactivity, and also cuts the cord and also prevents you from logging in. I'm not bitter. But like, I think that there's a lot of new technologies. You know, LiDAR sensors are now in the iPhone. You know, how much until we actually have much more sense of virtual space? You know, I think we're just getting started. Is Hopin going to be the winner? My concern is they're like the Yahoo of this. Like, they're the ones who are going to, like, kind of cut the brush, but they're not the ones who are going to get through the forest. But, you know, there's a lot of lessons learned, so we'll have to see.
That just feels like a sexual reference somehow. I'm not going to lie. I just felt vaguely inappropriate. On the VR front, though, I talked to the CEO about this because I had the same idea. You know, what does this look like in a VR setting? And he said, you know, we're not going to build it ourselves. I think I'm paraphrasing here a lot, so Johnny, don't shoot me. But, like, we're going to have a platform and that stuff can plug into it. So they're trying to make sure they have an open goal on all future tech that might plug into the space. And I'm curious to see if that's the right way to go, or if they should be building, you know, first party solutions. But we shall see. We have to let Hopin go. It's a big round. It's exciting, but we don't have any more facts. Those are all of our facts.